Put your phone in airplane mode, put it in another room, and just focus on that task that you need to get done. You know what? Put on some music, right? If it doesn't involve lots of brain taxing stuff and you're doing the mundane little jobs in your classroom or tidying up, just put some of your favourite tunes on, get into the zone, and you'll have it done so much quicker and enjoy it a little jig at the same time.
Yeah. Or put on Rainbow Skies for New Teachers. Go back and listen to some of our other episodes while you're hanging the artworks up in your classroom.
Yeah, for sure.
But we are big advocates for putting away distractions.
Welcome to Rainbow Skies for Teachers, the go-to show dedicated to teachers who want to make a big difference in education. Whether you're in your first few years or well into your teaching career, we are here to inspire, support, and empower you with bite-sized tips, simple strategies, and the motivation to lead an education revolution, one classroom at a time.
We're Ashley and Alicia from Rainbow Sky Creations, two Aussie teachers who love all things teaching and learning. We are here to help you thrive as you work toward making an impact in your students' lives while loving your life as a teacher.
We are here to help you bring joy, simplicity, and creativity into your classroom on the daily, because
there are rainbows ahead, my friend, and together we're unstoppable.
Let's get into today's episode.
Rainbow Sky Creations acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we record this podcast on, the Dharawal and Whadjuk Noongar people. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to Rainbow Skies for Teachers. Today's episode is going to be another replay, and we've chosen this episode specifically for this time of the year to get you set up and ready for the new year. We're going to be talking about time-saving strategies, tips, and tricks, because we know teachers are always feeling time poor, but I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to feel that way. With a bit of the boring stuff like systems and organization, you can get on top of your workload and feel like you have more time in a day. Also, one of the main takeaways of this episode is that not everything on that to-do list has equal importance. So have a think about what is the most important thing, what is the least important thing, and prioritize that to-do list. I hope you really enjoy this episode. Bye.
Welcome to Rainbow Skies for New Teachers. And I have the delightful Ashley with me here today, and we're going to talk about something that's probably closer to her heart than was to my heart in teaching, and that's time management.
Yeah, look, I am all about all things time management, all things organization. I mean, if we weren't doing Rainbow Sky, I think I would be one of those people on Instagram that had like an organizational blog or something.
Yes, but what you need to know about Ashley is she is still a bit old school and she is a paper and pen kind of gal. We are slowly integrating more time management, digital strategies in our business every day.
Yeah, I am old school. Alicia gives me a hard time about it.
She takes it in her stride. She embraces all suggestions. So I can't fault Ashley on not being a lifelong learner.
We can all improve, can't we? But today we're going to be talking about time management strategies to help you guys improve on time management, because I think if I asked any teacher on this planet, if they had a magic stick, what would they want as a teacher? I bet they would say more time or more money, but more time.
Yeah, for sure. It was always my thing. I swear every year it was like, how do I be more efficient with my time? How do I save myself time and energy so I can go home at a reasonable hour, that I can do those things I love to do outside of teaching? So hopefully we've got some little suggestions here that are going to help you get more of your time back, because that's what we're all about.
Definitely. Okay, the number one strategy, we're just going to dive straight in, and it's all about being organized. Starting from a place of organization is actually going to save you time later. Now, I am saying this to my husband constantly, like every day, you guys. I'm telling him we need to start from a place of organization, right? If you put everything back in its spot, then we know where it is later. Trying to find it in a hustle, in a tiz. So having specific homes for items like stickers, stamps, pens, student manipulatives, that all helps you become a time saver later on. So starting from that place of organization. Now, this can be hard, but we often say, if you're feeling like I'm so unorganized, stop, put some time aside to get yourself into a groove of organization, and then start again, because that can really help with those feelings of like just chasing your tail.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I was so guilty of moving schools, moving classrooms, that I was inheriting other people's stuff. And I was trying to be like sorting their stuff. And now I realize, why was I doing that? That had no benefit to me. It probably would have been better if I just got those pile of 5 lever arch folders with comprehension questions that I'm never going to look at, and probably not the teacher next to me after me is going to look at, and just go recycle them and have it gone. But Ashley's in our little blog here. She's got such a great little visual of, you regularly mark. You do marking all the time. Create a little caddy or a carrier, or get one of those IKEA Kmart trolleys. Have it as your go-to station. And if you've got that space set up and you know where things are, automatically you're saving yourself time and energy. Being organized is really broad, but we can get as specific as you want to.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be a good invention? Have a teacher tool belt. You know how tradesmen have those tool belts, and you have it like, it would have to look stylish. And then you could have like your highlighters, a few Post-its, a stamp. That would be cool. Carry a phone in there.
I think that's a thing. It's like a teacher apron. Maybe 8 years ago I saw it, taking the bottom half of an apron and putting pockets in, especially in like the early childhood teachers.
Yes.
Look,
and it would save your clothes as well.
I know. I am that mum who goes around with a bum bag. That's why teachers love pockets, so we can put things in our pockets. Teacher bum bags, can we bring those back into fashion?
I was about to diss a bum bag just a second ago when I thought of this idea. I know you're walking around with a bum bag.
Because you know who is the stylish one of Rainbow Sky. It is not me. I'm practical all the way.
I feel like bum bags are back, so maybe you are ahead of your game, Alicia.
Oh, yeah, I don't wear them the way they should be worn for fashion standards, so I will own my dagginess wholeheartedly. So our second strategy is set realistic goals. We're talking about, let's look at our to-do list. Don't have it filled to the brim with things. I actually have a Trello board where I have things I need to do today, and I've got another list of things to do next week, this month, and I literally just drag it across today. I pick 3 things and go, I'm going to do this today. And the same can go with like your home life and how you're organizing your things at home, whether it's your meal prep or if you're going to clean the house, whatever it might be. But just think, if I can only do 3 things today that's going to help my teacher workload, just put them onto your to-do list. And if you don't get to them, scratch it and put it on the next day. Okay?
It's like having a priority list, and that can really, really help with productivity, because not only are you getting the endorphins when you actually complete a task, but you can have completed the task for the entire day. This happened to me yesterday at home with my home jobs. I needed to go and do a few chores at our local shopping centre. I needed to do the washing, and I wanted to do something for Rainbow Sky. It was just a small task. I was creating a quiz for our membership, and I got all of those things ticked off the list. There were 3 things. And I felt amazing by the end of the day because I got those 3 things done. Now, that's not to say I didn't have a million other things to do. I totally did. But by prioritizing items on your to-do list, you're going to feel like you're achieving more. It's going to help you focus on what you need to get done. And then you can get to everything else. And also you're going to prioritize what's important, what's not as important.
Yeah. And if you're still new to this whole process, like even if you just choose one thing to do that day, I am going to mark those writing assessments. And that's all you need to do that day, and you get that done, you're going to feel great because you've accomplished something. The chemicals going off in your brain and firing a celebration is going to be great. If you're new to that, just start with 1 thing, then 2 things. Cap it at 3. We say 3 is the bellissimo number.
Yeah, because you've got all your other daily chores that you have to do anyway. So you're not only doing 3 things. One thing that I always love to do, just speaking of writing assessments, is I would always batch those out. So I would never sit down and mark all my writing assessments in one go because that was like way too much for my brain. But 5 writing assessments was so achievable. And I would say, okay, I'm just going to do 5 writing assessments each day of the week. And by the end of the week, if I've got a smaller class, I'll have them done.
Yeah. 25 kids and below, please, in my classroom.
Well, that's something that we could stand on our bandwagon about. Lower class sizes.
Yeah, for sure.
No more 30. 30 kids or more is too many, government.
I wholeheartedly agree. Now, our next one pairs up nicely with setting realistic goals is setting up systems for the term. Save your brain power and set up some systems. Mine was a very simple little checklist, like Mondays, I was always making sure that I was handing out the kids their spelling list. It would mean that on Wednesdays or Thursdays, I was prepping my lessons for the next week. The Friday, I was doing all my photocopying, so I was ready to go. At the end of every day, I was cleaning my teacher desks and putting the date on the board so we were fresh and ready to start the next day. I'm throwing out a few little different things here, but having a system you have that you just do on the reg, is soothing for your soul, but also saves you time and energy.
It's almost like automating your brain as well, because if you're doing the same things each day of the week for the entire term, it's less thinking involved and you just start to do these things automatically, and then less things get forgotten about or left behind.
Yeah, just like when you're driving to work and you get there some days and you go, what? I don't even remember driving to work. It's because you've done that drive so many times that it's become automatic. And that's ideally what you want your systems to become like in the classroom. The Hive is an all-in-one online hub for your classroom, a launch pad with everything you need all in one place. Think of it as your digital teaching partner.
The Hive was created by former teacher and assistant principal Tam, aka Mrs. Learning Bee, and her software developer husband Jez. Their vision is simple: to find new and innovative ways to make teachers' lives easier while also making learning fun and engaging for students.
Some of the features that they've pioneered are the online visual timetable and digital teacher planner, the first ever planner for teachers and students, an innovative phonics app, including their famous word builder and Beetle game. That's my favorite. Buzzboard, their complete digital whiteboard, an ever-growing bank of digital learning tools and classroom management tools, which take customization to the next level. And lastly, the unique classroom dashboard that just brings everything together.
That dashboard is a game changer. Tam and Jez have built the Hive in collaboration with thousands of teachers from around the world, actioning their feedback to build updates and features that are needed in classrooms.
And the best part, they are only just getting started. There's no shortage of ideas in their brains. The Hive is only going to get bigger and better.
Teachers, it's time to level up your classroom. Try it out for yourself today with a 7-day free trial. Head to hive.mrslearningbee.com.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the next one, Alicia is a huge advocate for, and I know she was really good at this towards the end of her teaching days, and that is being a week ahead. We like to always jot down events in our teacher planner a week ahead to help us with our planning going forward, but also have everything planned out 1 week in advance. Now, we've got an upcoming episode with a well-being specialist, and her name is Amy Green, and she actually gave the most wonderful advice, and I think all schools need to take this on. And it was about sending out the weekly update. Often schools send that out on a Sunday night or a Monday morning, and Alicia's face is like, what? I've worked at schools where it's like this, and it is so hard. She is saying we need to reframe this, and schools need to send that out on the Wednesday or the Thursday the week before, because that way, as teachers, we can organize our week and get everything slotted in advance, and we're not always chasing our tails. And also, we're not caught up by surprise with things, because as teachers, that can be hard. But also, when we're trying to manage 30 little people in our classroom and some of them don't like change, that can be really hard as well.
Yeah, and even some teachers don't like change. Give us more forewarning, please.
Yes. And being a week ahead can help with that as well. The next one's my favorite, so I'm going to just throw this in there, and that is about knowing your time. Knowing if you are a morning person or an afternoon person or a weekend person, the way that you work best and work with your strengths. If you're more productive in the mornings, if you're a morning person like Alicia and I, get into school early and you might be able to get an hour or two worth of work done before school starts for the day. And we're not saying do this every day. You might only want to do that once or twice a week, and that would be ample. Or if you're an afternoon person, perhaps you stay back later in the afternoons to work. And that is fine too, whatever suits you. I used to work with this great lady, and she had a family, and that was her priority. She used to leave school at the end of school early every afternoon, but on a Saturday morning, she would come in and she just worked for a couple of hours on a Saturday morning, and she'd get everything ready and prepped and done. And that is what worked for her and her family. So you've got to do what's right for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it might take a bit of juggling to work out what is your optimum rhythm with days and times, but you will find it and you'll be better for it.
Yeah, for sure. There's no rules, remember. You can do what I think that's one of the amazing things about teaching is that we're locked in to that 9 to 3, but the time around that is flexible and we should be able to use it flexibly.
Yeah, for sure. We sometimes don't feel like that though. What do you mean?
We
You went and
don't.
had your lunch break for an hour or two? That sounds delightful. But we do have a component of autonomy. And I loved primary school teaching because I could go into a classroom. I'd be like, I'm the boss of this classroom. what goes in here. I've kind of set the tone by following the school guidelines and expectations and mission statement. But yeah, it kind of gave you that little bit of a, ooh, this is my space. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, the kids aren't up for it. Let's do an art lesson. Let's just have a bit of fun.
That's it. Our next one is routines on keeping on top of daily tasks. And I guess we can lump that in with daily tasks and weekly tasks. Now, we have actually created a freebie, a little template, a weekly checklist template where we have typed on it things that we're doing every single week. So we're going to link this in the show notes. If you are every week prepping homework, if you're every week prepping spelling lessons, if you are changing over reading group, if you are every week checking the calendar for events, just make a little checklist and allocate a day where you go and do that if you're having to have a merit award in every week. And then when we're talking about staying on top of your daily tasks, it was that things of just make sure that any marking that needs to be done is put. I had a space in the classroom where I put the kids' books and I'd be like, all right, I need to get that marking done by tomorrow. And it'd be like, all right, I always leave with a tidy desk, date change, job change, whatever it might be, and have my lessons prepped. I had little folders for each day of the week. So I just make sure I pulled out my Tuesday folder, have it on my desk ready to go. So you just start creating these habitual routines. They become habit. The longer you do them, the more habit it creates, the easier it becomes and more automatic it becomes. Just have a think and sit down. If you haven't already, go, what am I doing daily that I always like to do? And what am I doing weekly that helps me be prepared for my lessons and the students in my class?
Yeah, because sometimes it's all of those little nitty gritty things that can take over and add those stresses to our day as a teacher when we've forgotten this or this. It was always merit awards for me in my first couple of years. I just always forgot them.
Yes, you are not alone. There are many teachers putting their little hands up going, yeah, that's me. And the role, just doing the role.
Don't even. Yes, the role. Actually, when I first started teaching, the role was paper and no one knew if you forgot it. Only you yourself knew when you went to mark the role the following day. They were better days, Alicia.
Did you then submit it each week or did you submit it at the end of the day?
When it was paper, they only collected it either once a term or twice a term. And it was this big job where the assistant principal would have to go through and match every absent note on paper to the role and make sure that everything all matched up. It was huge.
I think their system needed rechecking.
The system did need rechecking. You could only use a black pen. There was a lot of rules around this role. You weren't allowed to use whiteout. But yeah, that was the positive. But
yeah,
digital is probably much better.
Absolutely. Oh, how times have changed.
Oh, I know. I was talking to a friend the other day about using overhead projectors in the classroom and how we used to use overhead projectors. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm starting to sound a bit like my dad when he was like, oh, back when I was a teacher.
Yeah, fact. You have reached that age bracket for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening.
We've got one last little tip, and it's one we do talk a lot about because it works. Put technology away. Look, Turn off your notifications. When we say turn off notifications, just think of us saying, put your phone in airplane mode, put it in another room, and just focus on that task that you need to get done. You know what? Put on some music, right? If it doesn't involve lots of brain taxing stuff and you're doing the mundane little jobs in your classroom or tidying up, just put some of your favorite tunes on, get into the zone, and you'll have it done so much quicker and enjoy it a little jig at the same time.
Yeah. Or put on Rainbow Skies for New Teachers. Go back and listen to some of our other episodes while you're hanging the artworks up in your classroom.
Yeah, for sure.
But we are big advocates for putting away distractions, anything that rings and dings when you're trying to do brain work, because you're going to get through it quicker.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you should say that about brain work because we were, with our members, we were talking about reports last month and some of our members were talking about, what do you like to do when you're writing reports? Oh, I'm like music with no singing, like lyrics, acoustic, kind of instrumental, that's me. And a bunch of them were all talking about comfort videos. So videos that you watch over and over and over again, like TV shows, like they will put that on in the background. These girls both had a bond over their comfort videos being Gilmore Girls. And
oh my gosh, I hear TPT sellers saying that they love Gilmore Girls all the time.
For me, I was like, is this a generational thing? Because I wouldn't think to put on my favorite comfort video. I would probably get distracted and start watching Seinfeld or The Office, whatever it might be. Look, whatever it is that works for you, that allows you to get through things quicker, whether it is putting technology away and also having your comfort video, go do that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just have a little bit of a summary of what we spoke about today. Some tips to manage your time easier as a teacher. Be organized. Set realistic goals. So think about 2 to 3 priorities per day. setting up systems for the entire term to save yourself brain power, be a week ahead, especially with events, know what time works for you and how you work best. Keep on top of daily tasks and have a routine for that, maybe a weekly checklist. We'll make sure that the link to that is in the show notes. And technology away, because that helps us concentrate on the task at hand. Oh, well, that was a big one. That was a lot. I hope that you have taken some of these strategies and you're going to give a few of them a try. Maybe not all of them will work. Maybe one or two are just a jackpot for you, a time management jackpot. And that's what we hope.
Yes, you can save time in the classroom. We believe in you. You've got this. So until next time, there are rainbows ahead, my friend.
And together, we're unstoppable.